Okay, everyone, we are going to go live in 3, 2, 3.
I will make food security a reality.
I will design groundbreaking prototypes.
I will create the next life-saving vaccine.
Whatever your career aspirations, the University of the West Indies St Augustine campus is where tomorrow's game changers begin their journey. With fully accredited programs across 8 faculties, our graduates are innovating regionally and impacting globally. See what it's like to be UE. Visit sta.uwi.edu/apply.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to our virtual open day and to the St. Augustine campus of the University of the West Indies. My name is Winel Gregorio, Director of the Marketing and Communications Office, and I will perform the duty of host to navigate you through our proceedings. I know some of you are parents, guardians, siblings, and we also have some teachers and, of course, our future students. Thank you all for taking the time to spend with us this evening and for giving us the opportunity to share more about this great West Indian tradition called UE. You may submit questions during this live session utilizing the chat on Zoom or via the comment section for those viewing on Facebook. Be sure to let us know you're locked on and from where, whether Trinidad and Tobago or Caribbean islands or further afield. So let's get started. Our floor this evening will be brief remarks from members of UWI's administration, and then we transition into the Q&A section. So let me introduce you to our panel this evening. We have starting the lineup, Professor Brian Copeland, Pro Vice Chancellor and our principal here at the UWI St Augustine campus, Dr. Dawn Marie Gill, Campus Registrar, Mr. Nigel Bradshaw of our admissions team, Dr. Neil Singh, Medical Officer, Dr. Deirdre Charles, Director of Student Services and Support, Mr. Warren Anderson, President of the Guild of Students, Mr. Kevin Kalu, Financial Manager, and several other colleagues who are waiting online to engage with you. So to start us off this evening, I invite Principal Copeland to tell you just why the UE is your best choice. Principal?
Thank you, Winel. And thank you to our virtual audience for tuning in to our Open Day for undergraduates. I'm happy to be here to interact with our prospective students. This is just the start of many conversations we will have when you join us on the UWI St Augustine campus. Now, in 1963, long before you and I were born, Professor Lord Robbins, a well-renowned economist, commissioned by the British government of the time to draw up a report on the future of higher education and universities, had set out 4 objectives for these tertiary level institutions. The first was instruction in skills. The second, promotion of the general powers of the mind, and it says, so as to produce not mere specialists, but rather cultivated men and women. I take cultivated in a more general sense that he may have. Also to maintain research in balance with teaching, since teaching should not be separated from the advancement of learning and the search for truth. Research, by the way, is one of the key pillars that distinguishes a university from other tertiary level institutions. And finally, transmission of a common culture and common standards of citizenship. Those of you who were enrolling in economic program will no doubt meet Lord Robbins during the course of study. But let's start with the first, the last first. This is to a common standard citizenship. Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean is cautiously emerging from the shadow of COVID-19. Businesses are opening, traffic is moving once more, and we are reawakening. Yet it is clear that the world that we are waiting to and science tells us it will linger for quite some time. Its full effects on our economic and mental health have not been fully ascertained. But what we have seen so far is really not positive. More importantly, COVID-19 forces us to ask the question, should we go back the way things were? But I ask you, was it not our impact on the natural world and our ethos, if you like, almost our culture of growth at any cost that brought this catastrophe upon us? The science also says there could be more viruses waiting to be unearthed in the natural world we continue to encroach upon. So in this strange emerging reality, the world is also on fire with protests following the death of George Floyd in the US. His almost casual murder by a police officer, captured on video, ignited a blaze that has been building in the US specifically, but also in the wider world. Its immediate focus is, of course, on the people of the African diaspora. But the incredible global solidarity speaks to a much wider collective anger and desire for change among the peoples of the global South and the enlightened West. Historians will in the future look back at this period as a time of great momentum and possibility. Well, you and I are in fact living history right now. And in this world, in a few months, UWI St Augustine 2020 is one academic year. The first school year after COVID-19. Like the post-pandemic society, there is uncertainty. Like the movement of racial justice, there's also great momentum and possibility. Skills and attributes that go beyond academics are really important now. It requires new citizens that have the potential to bring benefit for themselves and for their societies. Academic qualifications is enough. Will you have the resilience to face the difficult task of resuscitating our economies? Will you have the moral strength to stand up for the disadvantaged and confront the corrupt? Will you have the compassion to invest your efforts and resources in causes that may have no personal benefit, but can definitely improve people's lives? Will you have the self-mastery to know when to lead and when to follow, when to fight and when to make peace? Will you feel a connection to your country and region and work for the good of both? These and other questions define the characteristics that must define the new society. It cannot be the mistakes of the past. It makes no difference. We believe it is possible. I'll tell you why. At St. Augustine, we are driven to produce the ideal graduate. We have no power over what the future will bring. At the beginning of this year, who could have foreseen the events that followed? We can, however, prepare for a range of eventualities. At UWI, we have the awesome responsibility and privilege of preparing students to be who will be graduates in a country in which they live, citizens of the future. As a student of this regional university, you will become part of a select group, connected by water and technology, and sharing a bond across 5 campuses within one university. Together, we are UWI, the main unifying force of this one Caribbean. At the young age of 72 university years, which is quite short, we have given this region more than 237,000 graduates, including 20 heads of government and 1 Nobel laureate. There's probably no sector of our Caribbean society which graduates are not found, from the judiciary to civil society, entrepreneurs and leaders in all the professions. and in the private and public sectors. At the St. Augustine campus in Trinidad and Tobago, we will help you uncover your excellence and develop your innovative and entrepreneurial abilities. That is our promise. We are a global university, and the quality of our work is internationally recognized. For the UWI is ranked among the top 4% in the Times Higher Education World University Rankings of 2020. This covers almost 1,400 universities across 92 countries. The criteria used by Times Higher Education are teaching, research, industry income, international outlook, and citations. These last two are significant since the UWI is much smaller and less resourced than many of its competitors on the list. I should stick up in here and say, citations refer to the fact that the World Committee is reading the work of our scholars and researchers. International outlook deals with our network of universities internationally, our connections with international agencies, some of whom fund the projects in which we conduct, and some of whom receive the results of research that we conduct as well. We also have exchange programs with various universities. International outlook, citations, productive work from a university beyond just teaching and learning. We receive very high scores for citations, therefore, and for international outlook, placing us among the top 75% of universities across the globe in these criteria. In Latin America and the Caribbean, we are ranked among the top 2% of universities. Even more, we are still the only Caribbean university on this prestigious list and ranked number 1 among the more than 200 universities that are registered in the region. I want to end by reflecting on one of the points made by Lord Robbins some 57 years ago on why universities exist. It remains a preeminent objective, and that is to promote the general powers of the mind, and as I said before, he went on to say, so as to produce not mere specialists, but rather cultivated men and women. He's talking about building people who could make tremendous contribution to society. During these unprecedented times, you must equip yourself with high quality knowledge and skills. The society needs you. At the UWI, our definition of an ideal graduate that aligns with this concept of the promotion of the general powers of the mind speaks to the following. First, a critical and creative thinker. Then we speak of you being an effective communicator with good interpersonal skills. We will develop your IT skills and make you information literate. You will be innovative and entrepreneurial. You will be globally aware and well-grounded in your regional identity, very important in these days. You will be socially, culturally, and environmentally responsible. You have to keep the place alive for your children and theirs. And you will be guided by strong ethical values. You will have shown that it cannot work otherwise. This is what you will achieve at the St. Augustine campus, all the while participating in knowledge discovery and application process, and even as you work towards your degree. I want to give you a personal example, and I am in it. As a graduate of the UWI myself, I have witnessed some of what is alluded to in this quote-unquote promotion of the power of the mind, unquote. After I completed my BSc degree in engineering at UWI too many moons ago, I went on to do my master's in Canada and my PhD in Southern California. Over that time, and even after I returned to teach at UWI, I realized that knowledge in electrical engineering, my general field, has borrowed much from the humanities and social sciences. Logic, which is the foundation, and this is an example, logic, which is the foundation of digital electronics, came from a philosopher/mathematician. And I want you to listen to that combination. Philosopher who was also a mathematician. Some of the terminology used in my specific subdiscipline, and in my field, we work on technology that controls aircraft, controls temperature, controls speed. It is a field called controls, but it really came out of mathematics. So we're into technology that helps you get things to behave the way you want to do. But a lot of that the terminology used in that subdiscipline came from, would you believe, music theory, as was one very crucial technique that was transplanted from the field of economics. The lesson, for me was that knowledge, at its very core, has no boundaries. We create the boundaries, and it cuts across a range of disciplines. Whatever you do, whatever you choose to do from here on, keep an open mind. Do not let the discipline that you choose to study in, and it's important to be strong in one discipline, but don't let it pigeonhole you. So at UWI then, just to recap, you will begin the process of applying new knowledge to world problems at a time when the need for the voices of the Caribbean has never, ever been greater. I'd like to thank you and hand you back over to Ms. Gregorio. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Principal. I think that was an inspiring way to start off our proceedings this evening and to set the stage for what we have to come. And so up next, I am happy to introduce you to our campus registrar, Dr. Dawn Reedy-Fugil, and she will be talking a bit about online teaching delivery, how we pivoted to that modality, and what you can expect in this transitioning world of higher education. Dr. Gill, I hand over to you.
Thank you, Winell. I'm really happy to elaborate on what incoming students can expect. The University of the West Indies, as a regional university with 4 physical campuses and an open campus, has long used technology to maintain its bond across multiple countries. In spite of our prior experience, when we officially closed the campus on March 16th, the sheer magnitude of wholesale transition to remote learning and teaching and operations was still a huge hurdle. A global pandemic was certainly not a situation any of us could have anticipated, but thanks to the willingness and adaptability of our staff, we got it done. We were able to quickly transition in a smooth, measured fashion to remote learning. We were also able to successfully finish our teaching and examinations for the last academic year. So what is our new normal? The new normal and what to expect. In 2019, the St Augustine campus staged a virtual open day via Facebook Live. In that sense, we were ahead of the game that 2020 served us. This virtual world is our new normal. And as we have done over the decades, we will make it our own and thrive in it. Our focus, after we ensured safety and security of our campus community, was to provide value and support for our students, building solutions for the pandemic health challenges facing our economy through our strengths in research, innovation, and entrepreneurship, and supporting our community both on campus and beyond by preparing for a phased and safe return to campus. We continue to evolve our working routines in what has been coined the new normal. As this virtual open day shows, technology enables us to meet while not face-to-face so that we can share and interact. Since the start of the coronavirus outbreak, the campus has maintained its academic quality and standards while providing the best support for holistic growth during this time. We continue to be guided by the best advice of local health officials and adhere to government regulations to protect the health of our students, staff, and the surrounding communities. We are committed to the academic journey of our students and committed, as Professor Copeland has said, to producing the ideal graduate for Trinidad and Tobago and the region, and I dare say the world. To that end, we are adjusting the format of some of our courses and programs, at the same time maintaining the quality of these courses and programs. Integration of on-campus teaching and online delivery will vary from one course to the next. Some will be entirely online, others, particularly those that entail physical learning or exploratory activities like lab or fieldwork, will offer a combination of online and on-campus activity. All on-campus activities will be conducted in keeping with the established COVID-19 protocols for public spaces, especially physical distancing and the wearing of face masks. Our professional educators in our Center for Teaching and Learning are always looking to help and motivate students. Online course lecturers can be emailed and interacted with when students have any questions, and chat support is almost always available on online learning portals. Faculty and staff are committed and prepared to support your academic journey in this unprecedented time. We are united in this one resolve: to maintain a level of normalcy in an abnormal situation and to deliver wholesome experience to all our students. Join us as together we change the game.
Thank you, Registrar. Thank you for those inspiring words. And you're right, Registrar, that's why we're here this evening, because we want you, our prospective students, to change the game for yourselves, for ourselves, for our country and our region. So we want you to know the next game changer could be you. Now, we've been getting some questions on the chat, and I think it's fitting that the next person is Mr. Nigel Bradshaw to speak. He's going to be talking about our admissions process, and I assure you it's not as daunting as you might think. So he will be here up next to walk us through our admissions process. I know you have questions, and I know that he was multitasking, answering some in the comment section already. So Nigel, please take the mic and proceed.
Okay, thank you very much, Winel. Good evening to all our 249 participants here with us this evening on our virtual meeting this evening. I am Nigel Bradshaw, Student Recruitment Officer at the University of West Indies. Hopefully, many of you might remember my face, haven't seen me at events representing the University of West Indies, speaking to prospects, teachers, guidance officers, parents. I'm happy this evening to be able to bring continued information about our applications, about our admissions processes, about everything that you need to be able to understand and appreciate as you seek to become students of the University of West Indies. I am representing admissions. Unfortunately, our assistant registrar could not be with us today to be able to manage this responsibility. So one of the things that we have been challenged with respect to COVID-19 is a perception that the application process was halted or stopped, especially when physical classes across the nation at all the education institutions came to an end. We continued to allow persons to continue to do applications. And as you heard campus registrar referring just now to the fact that technology has allowed many possibilities that we previously only imagined. Our application process was still being facilitated by it being prioritized online. We have added to that the opportunity for persons to be able to upload their supporting documents for their undergraduate applications this year. Most importantly that we want to let persons know is that the application fee, because of a lot of the circumstances associated with the way in which COVID-19 lockdown was affecting many households, we saw it to be a prudent move to discontinue the application processing fee for persons that applied after May 29th to the University of West Indies St Augustine campus. So we continue to receive applications. Our application process also too has allowed many persons to receive preliminary offers. And that's where I really want to spend some time this evening, talking about the way in which persons may be understanding the new matriculation methods, new matriculation standards, that we have put in place for us to allow students and prospects to become applicants to the University of West Indies. To start off with, let's look at the normal application process with regard to CAPE students that are seeking to qualify with CAPE results. If it is a student has already completed lower 6 and done either CAPE Unit 1 or CAPE Unit 2 in lower 6, they would be allowed with the combination of the unit completed in lower 6 plus the CSEC subjects that they have completed. That combination allows for someone that has applied during the period November 10th, 2019, right up to where we close applications in July 10th, 2020, to receive an offer for undergraduate study based on a number of different underlying processes that take place at the campus. Now, the situation also too allows for students to be able to upload their documents, to be able to have us verify that they have met the matriculation requirements. However, it must be stated, not every program would allow for students to be allowed matriculation into that program simply because students have met that minimum standard. The minimum standard that we speak about is we have now allowed students with grades 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 in a minimum of 2 CAPE subjects, along with CSEC requirements, with CSEC subjects, to be able to be allowed that preliminary offer to programs that they would have applied for. However, some faculties are allowed to, they do retain the right to restrict students being entered on the preliminary matriculation route based on the fact or anticipation that there will be high subscription for the applications that are going in for different programs in those faculties, right? So definitely we have given a large number of students offers already to a large number of different programs across faculties at our campus. However, many more offers will be written in time based on applications that we continue to receive. And I want to reiterate, we continue to receive applications up until July 10th, 2020, which is right around the corner, as you would appreciate. The uploading applications, as I said earlier on too, uploading the supporting documents allows now it's the first time that we have done it on the campus. Now that students are able to do it, if you have already uploaded your documents, there's no need to physically come in to drop off those documents. The documents that you upload must be certified or notarized. Certified meaning that the educational institution that you attended to receive your qualifications, the senior administrator, if it's the principal or vice principal or official representative of that person, they would be allowed to take the copies of your official documents and certify them by signing, dating, and stamping those documents. There is a process that thereafter you are allowed to scan those documents and email them to us. We have sent emails to all the applicants to our programs of the official process that is required for you to be able to follow the guidelines for you to follow to scan and upload the documents that you must send to us. Once it is, you pay attention to that information. Within 3 to 4 weeks, we will allow for your application to be updated, reflecting the fact that we have not just received those documents, but also to add them to your application portal. Hopefully, soon thereafter, you should see changes in your application portal reflecting the fact that you have been given an offer or that your application is complete and ready for review, etc., etc. The fact remains though, we intend to meet all the normal deadlines that the university normally would have set out based on the previous academic calendar that we'd have had. We intend to start our classes on September 1st, unless we are forced to make another change in the near future. September 1st, 2020. We encourage persons to reach out to us for whatever information that you may need with respect to the applications. Actually, I was responding to many of the questions posted in the Q&A just now. Notice many persons asking questions around much of what I was just speaking about. I would like to also to encourage persons to continue emailing me directly for your questions with respect to the applications for undergraduate programs. I'd like to also to now make a plug for the remaining sessions that we'll have for each faculty going, that will continue up to next week, Friday. Though we encourage you to be able to come join us here on Zoom, starting from Wednesday right through to next week, Friday, to be able to hear from specific faculty staff that will be able to give you all the information that you need to appreciate and understand associated not just with matriculation standards to the programs that you might have in mind, but also to be able to understand the depth of the programs that you're going to be involved in once you have been applied and become admitted. Right? I just want to close off by letting you know that in this new normal, many persons are really seeking to come to the campus in the normal Caribbean tradition to be able to interact with us and speak with us on many different things. I would like to be able to take advantage of technology and ensure that persons that are not just from here in Trinidad and Tobago, but I noticed we have persons from St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the chat. You can make contact with me via email to be able to allow us to be able to have Skype sessions to discuss face-to-face all the information that you would need to receive to satisfy all your curiosity and concerns to ensure that you make an application successfully. My email address, sorry that I can't share my screen to be able to show it to you. It is my entire name, the entire thing is lowercase, nigel.bradshaw@sta.uwi.edu. Again, nigel.bradshaw@sta.uwi.edu. I respond to all emails no matter what the concern is within 48 hours or less. And I would make every attempt to be able to interact with you as technology allows us to ensure that all your concerns can be met. I want you to continue enjoying the interactions that we have this evening, and I continue to look forward to being able to provide answers to your questions as we continue this evening's chat. Thank you very much for joining us, all 262 of you, and pass you back over now to Winel Gregorio. Thank you.
Thank you, Nigel, for that. And we will put some other email addresses in the chat. So on the chat, on Zoom and on Facebook, we're seeing some local, regional, and international students as well, and prospects, and we say welcome. We're seeing mentions from St. Vincent, Barbados, and the USA. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I trust if you missed any of the speakers so far, you will see the recordings after, so fear not. And a quick reminder to everyone, please post your questions during the live interaction. If we don't get to your feedback or your points of interest now, we will certainly do so later. We have emails that we're sharing. So all our speakers this evening spoke about the pivot that we've had to make as an institution. And against this background of the public health crisis throughout the world, the health and safety of our students remain the priority. And so I want to call on Dr. Neil Singh, our medical officer, to provide an overview of the health services unit at the campus. Dr. Singh?
Thank you, Winel. Good afternoon, prospective students. I am Dr. Singh, the head of the health services unit. And I'll just spend a short moment giving you a synopsis of what services we offer to you students. However, when you arrive on campus, we'll have much more time to educate you on the details. As a student at the University of West Indies, you will be privileged to have access to a health center, very much similar to the health center at back in your home and in your community. The health center offers free primary health care services to all students, and there's an additional student health plan, which we'll talk about later, you'll hear about later when you're on campus, where you can actually purchase medication and be reimbursed based on the health plan. Our hours of operations are basically 8:30 to 4:30 come next semester. We used to be until 6, But based on what's happening, we have reduced our hours of operation. But we do have an emergency hotline number which you can call in cases of emergencies, and as well as you have access to one of the 2 nursing homes, which health insurance that covers you up to $10,000 in medical attention. You'll hear much more about that again. So this is our emergency number here, which you can call, and someone, a medical professional, will be able to offer you advice after hours of care. The health center consists of a number of services. Our aim is to provide and promote healthy life choices to our students, to assist students in obtaining both physical and emotional wellness. While students, you are in the peak of your health, we understand there are a number of challenges you will face, both psychologically, both socially, as well as academically. And we at the Health Center would like to help you transition through these times so that you can earn your degree in the shortest possible time. We are committed to promoting optimum student health. One thing I want to emphasize to you is that confidentiality is very important to us, and that your information and your medical records are the privilege of you and your healthcare provider. Your lecturers, your parents, none of them will have access to your medical information unless, of course, you give us written consent. So some of the fears of the students coming in, well, we never had a health center in our high school, but parents know what's happening. And we try hard to emphasize and maintain our area of confidentiality with respect to the issues that arise during your consultation and your time here with us. The health center runs a number of services, including basic checkups, including we used to have and may have sexual health clinic, HIV testing, vaccinations, affordable vaccinations free of charge from the government. However, I must add that because of the current climate, we're not sure at this time whether those services will continue, but we'll try our best to get them up and running again. So you're seeing some of the services we offer that you should take advantage of. Vaccinations are important, and all incoming students must have tetanus and MMR vaccinations, and they must submit an entrance medical to the health center. Before it was required that you bring it in together with your vaccination card. Now you can submit your entrance medical online. You can send it to either doctor@sta.uwi.edu or nurse@sta. And you can also send a copy of a vaccination card online. And when you do come back to face-to-face classes or back on campus, then you could come in and bring your original document. But we are accepting entrance medicals for new students online through these 2 email portals. Let's talk a little bit about sick leave medicals now. And students are required to submit sick leave certificates in case they miss an exam, they miss classes, they miss a lab. And we want to make it very clear some points I want you to understand that the medical officer at the campus will only give you a sick leave if we provide care for you. So if you go elsewhere and get medical care, you can get your certificate and submit it to the campus medical officer for approval if the campus medical officer accepts your medical. The medical officers will not give you a sick leave for exams in the past. So we like you to come within a day or 2 of your illness so we can verify and issue a medical if we think it's fit. So you may be exempted from your exam or not marked fail. Also, sick leave certificates are meant for medical illnesses only, and not if circumstances at home, social circumstances at home may affect you. You have the opportunity to write to your registrar based on university regulations explaining those. In the case of a medical illness, you must go to a doctor who can provide a sick leave note to you, giving you an exemption from your exams Exam regulation 27.1 to 5 is something that you students should read when you come in, so you can get a better idea of how the rule applies. Again, these two email addresses here, we'll be able to help you and answer your questions, whatever you require. Even at these times, they are being monitored daily, and you will receive a response. Failing that, we have a WhatsApp group on that same emergency number, which you can actually send messages to us on that 728-2408, and we'll respond in a timely manner. Finally, I would like to encourage all of you prospective students. The Health Center runs a first aid training program. It's a co-curricular course, which we would like to encourage.
Dr. Singh, I think we may have lost you a bit. Dr. Singh?
Seeing our website up now, you can download your entrance medical forms from there. You can learn a lot more information about what services we offer at the health center on this website. And we will be adding new services as we go along as we transition through this new COVID new normal. Our in-house pharmacy provides basic pharmaceutical supplies of which you have to pay, but you can apply for a refund through the health plan. And we open together with the health center. We have a pharmacist, and we do supply pharmaceutical supplies and personal healthcare items. We do not sell phone cards. Here are some of the things you will see. You will be able to access yourselves out in terms of those things. Don't really apply to you people, but you have your personal health care. A lot of this stuff you can actually ask. So we've spoken about the provider healthcare, and then we've spoken about the first aid training. And I would like to congratulate all of you and wish you all the best in your entry into the campus.
Thank you, Dr. Singh. Thank you very much for that comprehensive overview of the health services unit and the processes attached. So we understand that university life is certainly a leap from secondary school, or in some cases, for some of you, from working life to become a university student. So to build upon the support that we heard about from Dr. Singh just now, and to clue you in on how exciting and rewarding university life can be, and what other support mechanisms we have in place at the campus, I invite the Director of the Division of Student Services, Dr. Deirdre Charles, to share. Dr. Charles?
Thank you, Mrs. Gregorio. Thank you. Viewers, prospective students, parents, guardians, well-wishers, good evening and welcome. Prospective students, we at the UE, and especially at the Division of Student Services and Development, want to provide you with a holistic educational experience, one which will involve activities such as this. Yes, students, your individual campus experience awaits. Okay. Okay. It awaits you, and we are ready to help you develop that holistic educational experience. Your well-being is our concern, and we aim to develop the whole student. We are going to look after every aspect of self and self-development. We're going to look after your financial and emotional self, your occupational and social self, your physical and environmental self, as well as your spiritual and your emotional self. We are interested in helping you create your personalized, life-changing student experience. And we want to do this through a number of ways. We want to do in and out of classroom learning experiences. We want to engage you in student services and developmental student programming. We want to ensure that you get involved on the campus, that you get involved in activities, take advantage of the opportunities and events that will be afforded to you. And more importantly, we want to ensure that we engage you from orientation to graduation. Now, how are we going to do this? We're going to do this via a group of departments, 8 departments, that will speak to all your needs, that will ensure that your experience is one that is exciting and ensures that we develop the whole self. So it's a holistic approach. All these departments will look after specific needs that will help you along your journey at the UWI. Let's look at orientation and transition. For orientation and transition, there's a department that will put on various programs that will help you transition from where you are into a UWI life environment. And we're going to ensure that you're comfortable and well acclimatized for you to study and study well. So we'll have various programs for you, programs such as career advice program, know your faculty, know your library. We'll teach you how to use your e-learning platform. We'll do something called UWI Life. We'll also do a program for your parents and your guardians. And all this program, again, will help you transition. So no need to be nervous, no need to be anxious. We will take you through and help you acclimatize. Now, once you have acclimatized and you've started your programs, we have another department that will assist you with your academic support. Will also involve looking after our regional and international students, our mature students, as well as our postgraduate students. Now, in terms of academic support, this department will provide programs such as peer pairing. So the first year students will be paired with senior students, second years and third years, who will help you navigate the whole of UWI and provide that academic support and advice to you. Another program that will assist is a tool that we use called the Learning and Studies Strategies Inventory. And such a tool will help you to identify your learning styles and your study styles, and again, will help you on your way on excelling academically. We also, from this department, provide support to our regional and international students. So we'll pick you up at the airport, we'll ensure that you settle well, we'll ensure that your visas isn't an issue, we'll attend to all your visa stamps through the university, and we'll ensure that you enjoy the experience, which is Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean for the international students. We also look after our mature and postgraduate students in this department. Now, there's another department that looks after accommodation, the accommodation office. On the campus, there are 5 halls of residence. One is at the Mount Hope site, one is at St. John's Road, and the other 3 are situated on the campus. Of the 5 halls, 4 of the halls are co-ed and 1 is female only. Now, this provides residential life, provides a different type of experience. It allows you to live and grow and learn with your friends and people in your various courses, and they provide that kind of support and the home away from home environment. So I encourage you to live on one of our halls of residence. There's another department that will also help you emotionally and to help you deal with stress and all the different feelings you will be getting once you're on the campus. And this department will ensure that you're looked after. And there'll be counseling sessions, and the best news is free of charge. And there'll be a number of programs that will help you relax again and manage your stress levels. So for example, we have something called Mindful Mondays, and these are weekly sessions to help you relax and learn about mindfulness and meditation skills. There's also one called Mind the Gap, and this program will help you explore mental health and wellness and help you to develop skills to manage your stress levels. Now, we have you all settled and all comfortable, so we do not want you to worry now about finances. So there is a department for that, the Financial Aid and Services. And this department helps a lot of students with financial assistance. We offer scholarships and bursaries. And once you join us, I'm calling it into being, once you join us, you will be able to apply between July and August for one of those bursaries and scholarships. Apart from that, there are a number of workshops, managing your finances. We'll teach you how to budget, and other financial support required will be taken care by this department. Now, there is a Guild of Students, which is our student leadership on the campus as well. And they will tell you more about the exciting programs that they put on. But I want to say that this group of students provide you with an opportunity to use your skills to become a student leader, use your skills to serve the rest of your students. And they put on a number of interesting programs, one of which is a Leaders Workshop series. And I want to give an example of a student 2 years ago, Malia Jackson. She was one of our student leaders, and she won a global scholarship and went to the US to engage in leadership workshops. And she was exposed to mentors and mentoring by both government and private businesses. So you see, this is another opportunity for you to grow and add to your holistic development. There's a special department as well for students with disabilities and medical conditions. All our students that need special accommodation for their disabilities, their needs are taken care of, as well as medical conditions. So the department will be the liaison between the student and the academic departments and any other department on the campus. So you are looked after as well. There's a department that looks after students who commute. Some of our students commute throughout campus. So there's a space on the campus designated just for you called the Student Activity Center. It is a home away from home, and you'll be able to relax and feel part of the whole UWI vibe once you're on campus. So this department will look after those needs of those students. Now there's one more department, and this department zooms in on career management. This department will help you decide on your various career, what it is you want to do, look at career assessments and determine your interests. It will engage in job shadowing. So all of those kinds of career needs and advice will be dealt with by that department. Apart from that, they engage in a number of co-curricular activities, because remember, we're developing the whole student. So you'll be doing your academic side as well as all the other sides. So there are a number of co-curricular courses that you could sign up for. Basics of SILPAN, defensive driving, first aid, public speaking, and voice training. And some of them are actually given international certification. So like first aid and Microsoft Office are all given international certification. Apart from that, this department also looks at the students who are involved in volunteering and volunteerism, and who loves to get engaged in civic society. So we have things like Volunteer Open Day and service learning and community engagement. And it allows you to go and be part of the community and develop all other aspects of your skills, organizing, problem solving, that is so essential for you once you leave the UWI and become a UWI graduate. And I want to leave you with a story. A couple years ago, a group of our students engaged in community engagement took part in a program we have on campus called the Alternative Break. And they went to Grenada. Grenada had just suffered a major hurricane. And they went in to assist with community building. And these students, alongside other students from past students from UWI, helped a mother of two with two daughters who had just rebuilt the house. So our students used their skills to repaint the house, repaint the steps, designate and built an area for them to plant crops, and give back to a family in Grenada. So all these experiences are waiting for you to jump in and explore and decide which way, what of the pie that you want. So we really have a number of activities, events that you can engage in. Having said that, this is what we want for you. We want you to attain the highest levels of student success. We want you to grow and benefit from holistic development. We want to engage and immerse you in a positive and enriching student experience. And finally, we want you to become and personify your best version of the ideal UWI graduate. So I'm saying to you, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you when you come to join us next semester. Thank you.
Thank you very much, very, very much, Dr. Charles, for that very passionate presentation. Thank you very much. Student government and leadership, as we just heard, is one of the tenets of the University of the West Indies. And a virtual open day like this cannot be completed without hearing from the Guild of Students that Dr. Charles referred to. Newly installed into the post as of June 1st, I now invite to our virtual podium, Mr. Warren Anderson, who is now the president of the Guild of Students. Mr. Anderson?
Thank you very much, Mrs. Gregorio. I'd like to offer a warm welcome to the parents in our viewership, the guardians, and most importantly, our potential students who we look forward to becoming potential members of the Guild of Students. So, who or what is the Guild, as we are commonly referred to? Well, history may show you that we are leaders. Or if you go as far back as the 1980s, we are revolutionaries. Recently, the news may show us as protesters. And in the minds of some, we may very well be zesters and meme lords. If you take a look at our vision and mission, you would see words that we tend to pay service to, such as advocacy, opportunities for all, representation and education, and very important to our hearts, Caribbean integration. How do these words convert into the true purpose of what we aim to attain as the Guild of Students? Well, if you talk to one of us as you enter the campus, you may find that a member of the Guild may say that we are simply students helping other students through the delivery of events, financial aid, and helping you to personally grow. And we do this, we come together and do this through what we call student government. But amongst all these words, still, what is the Guild really? Well, to bring an analogy into reality, I would ask you to reflect on the fact that we have parents, guardians, and other figures of authority in our lives. They may even be our spouse. And like the UWI administration, these figures in our lives, they really care for us and really want to see us do our best. But sometimes, just sometimes, we have things that we want them to know and understand. And no matter how we try to communicate it, it just doesn't come out the way we would like it to. Well, in these instances, the Guild is that friend that you're accustomed to, that when this friend speaks, this authority figure, They just happen to get it immediately. So the Guild is a body of students that have trained and prepared in order to convert the will of the students and communicate with the administration our desires. As student government, we are invited to sit on several campus committees and help to make the tough decisions that take the campus forward. So for every area of activity that is on the campus, there's a student representing you. What comprises this student body? Well, to the apex of the body, we have what we refer to as student council, the Guild Council, which now consists of 26 counselors of the Guild, who are your student leaders. And we hope that among you somewhere in the viewership, that we can find the next crop of leaders coming to take the helm of the Guild of Students. And what we have done over the years is organize things in a way that no matter what subject area you choose or activities you would like to engage in, we have it covered. We have an area where you can engage with other students and find your home. To cover these areas, we offer events, activities, seminars, and programs. From the very start of the year, we work with the DSST and other areas of campus to bring to you events like the Guild Fest, which is a huge fair that we host at the beginning of the year. And we offer you programs like UWI Got Talent, which would have featured in some of the photos presented by the director, Dr. Charles of DSSD. We have Taste UWI. So even if you like to fill your belly, we have something for you. And throughout the semester, counselors get together and put on various games nights, talent shows, various workshops, training, and opportunities that help us to link to other student groups nationally, regionally, and globally. So how exactly do we get all these activities and events done? At the core of the Guild of Students, we have clubs, societies, committees, etc. So you would often hear as you become a student at the UWI that you should take your head out of the books, get involved. These clubs and societies are exactly how you do that. So I encourage you now, as soon as you become a student of the UWI, seek out these clubs and societies. We cover recognizing that we have students from different backgrounds, different identities, countries, having different skills, abilities, and all sorts of talents, an assortment of talents. We know how important it is to get help, first and foremost, from people like you, and also to find your clan. So within the wide array of over 80 clubs that we have under the Guild of Students, clubs are matched to areas of general support. There are outreach clubs. There are clubs that help you to excel in your academics. There are clubs that are matched to leisurely activities. And of course, within all these clubs, there are opportunities for personal growth and development. So the makeup of the Guild consists of resident hall committees. We have a national affairs committee, international and regional affairs committee, and we have what we refer to as faculty committees, as well as committees that aid our postgraduate students and our part-time students as well. So any area of activity, we have a committee to cover that. The halls of residence that were mentioned earlier, they make up the buildings that prepare a home for you should you decide to stay on campus. But beyond the building, what the Guild does is help you to make family. And family is made through the relationships that you form with your fellow students. And as you develop these families on the campus, you would find that there's a yearning within you to develop your identity as you learn and you grow. And so right now, even as you took this step to be a part of this session, I know and you know that there's something in you, something that you want to do with your life. And I know that, and you know that you are a game changer. So I have a question for you. How many of you know exactly what you want to do with your life right now? Exactly what you want to do in the next 5 years? And there should be a poll in the chat for you to answer that question. Well, the good news is, through the Guild of Students, it's a win-win situation for you, because whether or not you know what you want to do exactly, let's say you don't exactly know, through the Guild of Students, we can help you form the ideas and frame an identity for yourselves, right? And if you do know, then we can help you take that further, help you to develop your ideas, and help you to become that game changer that you are yearning to be. This means that if you have spiritual interests, freedom of expression, books, anime, you may like to party, you have interest in politics, you may be passionate about seeking justice, or you have a talent that you would like to show off, we have a place for you. Or it may simply mean that, like many of us, you just like to help other people. In fact, you may be the person that has a cure for COVID-19, and within you lies the answer. So we are here at the Guild of Students to help you think and to help you act. So I end by asking once again, who are the Guild of Students? Well, the simple answer is, you are the Guild of Students, and we are waiting on you, because from the moment you are accepted into the UE, you become one of us. Come be a part of greatness, join us. Come be a part of the Guild. Together we can make it happen. And our Instagram page, since we can't present everything about us in this simple presentation, is One Guild STA, and you can check out all the other information on the Guild of Students there. That's ONEGUILD STA on Instagram. Thank you very much.
Mr. Anderson, much appreciation for that powerful expression of what student leadership is all about. And viewers, we have one more formal presentation to go before the live Q&A section. Our marketing team is quickly gathering the questions. So if you haven't posted your questions, please do so. No question is trivial or silly, all are beneficial, so please make sure to ask. And now I invite Mr. Kevin Kalu, our financial manager, who is sharing on a much anticipated area. Mr. Kalu, I invite you now to talk about your presentation, Financing Your Degree. Over to you.
Right, thank you, Wanel. So tonight I wanted to speak a bit about some financing guidelines, and I know, and we at the university are aware that financing one's degree and education could be quite challenging in these times, yeah? But I want you all to understand as prospective students that we're here to help, and we can advise and guide you along the way in terms of financing your degrees. So let me just, 1 second. Right. So financing guidance, there are 3 main things I want to speak about. I'll speak about the student payment plan. I'll also speak about gate funding, and I'll also speak about how to go about paying your fees. Now, the student payment plan is the easiest of them all, quite simple, but very important, because I know it provides an avenue of ease in terms of financial grievance, financial difficulty. All right, the student payment plan is available to students, the majority of students, to cover their tuition and hall fees. And we know that these two fees could be quite significant. All right, most students will qualify for the payment plan. And once you qualify for the payment plan, all you would need to do is make a payment by the particular deadline date, the first installment, and continue to do so by the relevant deadline dates. You'll be given clearance based on that. The payment plans are available every semester, and they usually involve 2 to 3, depending on the semester, 2 to 3 equal monthly installments in terms of, as I said, of your tuition fees and your hall fees. So the student payment plan is quite simple, easily accessible, and most students will qualify for it. The next item I want to speak about is GATE. Now, GATE can be a bit more complicated, but still a very important source of funding for students, for Trinidad and Tobago students. Actually, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago will be the only ones that will be able to access GATE. And you can get up to 100% financing of your tuition fees. Yeah, so understand that GATE can fund up to 100% of your tuition fees. They don't normally fund the other fees like hall or compulsory fees and that kind of thing. They will fund your tuition fees up to 100%, and it will depend on your monthly household income and means testing criteria. So you can see there on the screen that if your monthly household income falls below $10,000 a month, you can actually be eligible for 100% funding of your tuition fees from GATE, through GATE. If your monthly income falls between $10,000 and $30,000 a month, or monthly, right, you can qualify for up to 75% funding. And if your monthly household income is above $30,000, then you would qualify or be eligible for 50% funding. So there are different levels of funding that you could qualify for, depending on what your monthly household income would be. All right, and GATE will eventually determine that based on the information that you submit to them. In addition to GATE funding, you can also qualify and access help loans. Once you qualify for GATE, you can access help loans from that office to cover the fees that GATE wouldn't fund. So for example, if a student qualifies for 50% funding from GATE, they can then access a help loan to cover the other 50% of your tuition fees. And obviously, but that loan is repayable. But then all you get, you're able to finance your entire degree tuition fee there in terms of that. All right, so GATE is a very significant source of funding for Trinidad and Tobago nationals, and I would urge them to follow up and access it. It's pretty easy. I think I had to get access to the GATE website. It will you would need to first of all get an eGate identification number, and you can get that by visiting any TT Connect center spread across the country. Once you have that eGate identification number, you can then access the eGate website and make your applications, right? And there's a lot more information on the eGate website about GATE and GATE funding, and so I would urge you all to take a look at that too as well. The last thing I want to talk about is paying your fees. Now, well, I saw on the chat, and I included a link for the undergraduate fee booklet, because a lot of people were asking, well, what are the fees for this program and what are the fees for that program? Now, in that fee booklet, you're going to find all the information you need in terms of what the fees are. Fees in terms of tuition, hall, compulsory fees, medical fees, yeah, the breakdown is all there. Fees by program based on your faculty. That information is all available via that particular fee booklet. So all the information is there, access it, and you can get all the information and questions answered. And if you still have more information, well, our colleagues at Marketing and Communication will be able to send you the links so you could send us your emails and give us a call. And once you know what your fees are, the next step would be to pay them, and it's very simple. We have basically had electronic means of payment from a while now, but you could also pay your fees at any branch of Republic Bank with a bank deposit slip. You could pay your fees online with a valid credit card through your own secure area account that we'll set up for you once you become a student. Or you could pay your fees via bank transfer using internet banking. So the methods of paying your fees are quite simple, pretty easy. Now, this is just a brief synopsis of various financing guidelines. There's a lot more information that you can find on our website. and feel free to visit it and share with us any questions or concerns that you may have. In fact, I look forward to the Q&A session that is coming up in a little bit to field any more questions that you may have. Yeah, so I look forward to seeing you guys. Come be a game changer. The University of the West Indies is where you need to be. Yeah, so we look forward to seeing you guys, and I'll pass you back to Winner. Thanks.
Thank you, Kevin. And so, folks, you've heard from many of the leaders at the University of the West Indies St Augustine campus. And we've now come to the really engaging part of the evening. All the formal presentations are done, and it's your turn now. We had some questions online from you, and our panel will be very happy to answer them. So we will start. I know some of you jumped on late, so we will start with the campus registrar. And I know we had a question about the hybrid instruction and the jump to the on-campus and online method of teaching, which will be employed. And the question focuses around the science students who have to do lab work and have a certain amount of contact hours spent on the campus. So if you can elaborate on that, Registrar, as well as probably rehash some that you would have said in the earlier points, as we have persons jumping on later. Thank you, Registrar.
Okay, as I indicated earlier, we are adjusting the format of some of our programs and courses, while at the same time trying maintaining the quality of these courses and programs. And so there will be an integration of on-campus teaching and online delivery, and this will vary across faculties, across courses, programs. Some will be entirely online, others, particularly those that entail physical learning or exploratory activities such as laboratory or field work, will offer a combination of online and on-campus activity. Of course, we will be observing all the protocols with respect to public spaces, physical distancing, wearing a face mask, etc. The question that was asked with respect to labs, Mrs. Gregory, can you repeat that question? Did it have to do with living close to campus?
Yes, so for science students who have lab work, the contact hours spent on campus justify seeking accommodation on campus?
Well, one would hope that we would soon move to a situation where, like schools, we would move back to our original, even though we have a limited hybrid, we will have a number of interactions on campus. So I think even to enhance your student experience and the whole concept of university life and being part of that UWI West Indian tradition, is always a good idea to live close to campus or live within easy access. And so it's something that you really should consider if that's an option.
Thank you, Registrar. I turn to questions about the application process. How does one guarantee their admission into highly competitive faculties such as law, engineering, or medical sciences? And I turn that question to the campus principal.
Yes, I got you, Winel. Thanks a lot. With respect to entering those faculties, yes, they're highly competitive. And we make our decisions based on merit. There's a whole system, a whole process of going through the criteria. They're all in the various booklets. In all cases, there are scores that are attached to the qualifications that students provide. Then based on that, we rank them out. And depending on the number of spaces, we basically go with if there are X spaces, we take the top X. That is generally how it goes. Sometimes there are some variations, but generally very slight. I saw someone ask about qualifications that differ from CAPE. So for example, there was one person who who went to a community college in the States and was incomplete. Well, we have taken students like that in the past. I used to be a dean of faculty of engineering. We've taken many students who have started their programs elsewhere and come into the faculty. And again, it's a little more of a difficult process, but it is done. That is that we match your qualifications. We also look, let me finish that sentence. We match your qualifications to our reference qualifications, which is CAPE and A-levels and the like. Some programs actually list out different types of qualifications that are accepted, trying to get some level of parity between them. So we match that if it's a new type of qualification that you have. If you have any one of the standard ones, then it makes it easier, even if you've gone to a college, States or wherever else. But we also look at the courses you've completed and the grades that you have. And if they align well to courses that we have in the program, then more likely than not, much more likely than not, you'll be given exemptions as well. So it's a bit more of a detailed process. But let's say that such candidates are not ignored. And basically, it would be good to consult with the relevant faculty that offers the program you have, or simply to apply and make a case. But I just want to end by saying that we've done this so many times in the past. I would say it is not a difficult sort of process. It's just more difficult than for those who came out of high school and so on, which are by far our largest cohort.
Thank you, Principal. And don't go too far, because I also want you to answer the next question we have about gender disparity in engineering and really understanding how many females are typically in an engineering class. So before you answer, I think it may be helpful if you talk about the different types of engineering or the different departments. Perhaps talk a little bit about the gender balance.
Yes, there are five departments in engineering. Starting with electrical engineering, which I always put first because that's when I had it some time ago. Mechanical engineering, there's civil engineering, chemical engineering, and then there's a department called geomatics, which looks into land use, surveying, and the like, growing, tremendously in importance over the years. So 5 of those departments are there. That's at the, and they cover all levels, both undergrad and postgrad. So the question had to do with gender, and that's the diversity issue. I want to start off by saying categorically 2 things. One is that engineering is only the faculty where there is a male dominance, so to speak, and this has traditionally been so. It is so across the world. I suspect it has to do with the world of work more than anything else. If I were to look at the faculty that is closest to it, which is sciences, there's actually a turnaround there. There's something like 65% of females in the science faculty. So it's not an issue of STEM or anything like that. I think it has to do with the world of work. When I started off, there was something like, that's when I studied not so long ago. It was 6% female by my count, a small class. There were only 6 females that I knew of in the class. But my last check last year, when I looked at it, it was up to 30%. Now, as dean, I recall one year where it peaked at 40%. This is 40% female, but it's down to around 30% or so. So those are the numbers. I should say as well that the applications show that the ratio is about the same. So it's about 30% female to about 70% male that apply every year from my estimates. So it's not so the point is this: if you're a female interested in engineering, you come. There's nothing stopping you. There are many who have done extremely well. Many females have done extremely well, even from my earliest days. In fact, in those days, if when you looked at the top of the class, those who topped the class, they were generally females. Maybe they were pushing hard to excel. And all of them went on to excellent careers at the end of the day. No problems therein. I had one student I'm particularly proud of. It's one of my best. And she, in fact, worked in my area. I mentioned it earlier, in control systems, and went on and just basically blazed a trail out in the industry. I mean, I stood in UWI and I heard everything about how well she was doing. Excellent work. Kusha Andrews. Extremely good work. So it's really a matter of you applying. There is no barrier. All right, the numbers are there, they're changing, they're adjusting, but the numbers are there, fine. But there's no barrier that sets that number. It's just a matter of people applying and the merit system that determines who gets in. And secondly, when you enter the industry, by and large, you'll find that there are no hindrances as well, or very, very little. I can't vouch 100% for some of the areas, but judging from what I have seen, our female graduates have gone on and done very, very well in the industry. Great, that's it.
Thank you, Principal. Thank you, Principal. I would now like to call on our Deputy Campus Registrar, Mrs. Patricia Brown. We have several questions in the area of deadlines, confirmation, admissions, decisions. A lot of persons are saying they've applied, they want to know when they'll hear something, when will they get confirmation, they've sent in their certified documents via emails. And so I wonder if you can detail the process and give an appreciation of the different steps along the way.
Thank you, Director of Marketing, Principal, colleagues, and our prospects. Take this opportunity to say welcome to UWI, your future. Our application process, very, very simple. As Nigel will have said to you, the information is posted on our website, but I'll give you very quickly, I will run you through. You must apply online. Now, I've seen a couple of questions where persons who are at another institution, possibly out of the region, and they're seeking about transferring to UWI. I will start at that end of the process. As what you will consider a transfer student, you will have to follow the normal application process. That means you go online to our website, www.sta.uwi.admissions/admissions. You will go to the apply button. You submit your information there. So you apply online and you follow the instructions which ask you for very specific information. So whether you're coming from another institution outside of the region or wherever and you want to come to UWI, whether it is to complete a course of study or to big one, you have to submit a normal application for admission. Now, let's step back now to an applicant, somebody just trying to now to get into UWI as against the question of transferring into UWI. You submit an online application and you enter to us the documents in support of what you have indicated online. So that, for instance, we would want evidence of your name submitted by your birth certificate and your academic qualifications that you would have submitted. The documents must be certified and we ask you either to mail them in, but even faster, to email them to us. Now, in emailing those documents, please ensure that they are very, very clean. And I say clean meaning the copies are not cut off. Sometimes you may copy a document. Let us say it is your birth certificate and the top may not be too clear. We would, even though we may see them, we would ask you to submit a more official document. Because mind you, we cannot certify that this document where half of the printing is not clear or half of it is not copied properly, we cannot certify that this is an authentic document. So ensure that what you are emailing to us absolutely clearly photocopied. All the headings, all the signatures, there are no pen marks on it. Let us assume that one of your grades might have been misprinted, or not misprinted, not very clear. You put a pen mark on it. No, we would not accept that. We will still leave it on your application account as incomplete. Yes? So ensure that the documents are really nicely copied, properly copied, and they are certified, whether it be by a school's principal, notary public. So you mail those to us. Therefore, after that, we ask you to continue to track your application online. And there, when you go to our website, you will also see those instructions, how to track your application. sta.uwi.track. When you go to that account, it is going to ask you to put your login information, which is the information that you created when you were putting your application. So you log in into the account you created with the password that you have put in, and there you will see all the setup of your application. You go down to the document, At the bottom, I think there's an area that says personal information. It will tell you there the status of your application. You may see terms as items incomplete. When you look at the items incomplete, you would have received an email from admissions telling you what is outstanding. You may see complete and ready for review. It means that all your documents have come in and we are therefore waiting to submit your profile to the Faculty Entrance Committee meeting for assessment. You may see pending. Pending also in terms of a status means that yes, we got your documents in, everything is okay. It has been taken to the faculty, but the faculty has not made a decision on you. So pending means, yes, you are being assessed, but a final determination has not been made on your application. We also have another status. We said complete and ready for review. Good. You may also see if a decision is made now, and I mean a sign-off decision, you can see accepted. You could also see unsuccessful. You would not see the word rejected. We don't use those words at all. Yes? So you may see unsuccessful, and you would. Once you see successful on your status, you would click on that, and certainly by then, your offer letter will be uploaded. I saw a question in the chat asking, do I have to would my offer letter be mailed to you? No, it would not. You go onto your application account. Once you see successful, you click on that link, your offer letter will be uploaded to you. You have to download your offer letter. You will get a welcome letter. And on that portal, you'll see a number of documents pertaining to your entry into the UWI. Your offer letter, which will contain your UE student ID number. That's how we are going to know you from henceforth. Yes? So your offer letter, you would also get a welcome letter. The welcome letter gives you a lot of information about the guild, how you will go about your registration. You will see information from our student services department. You will, number of things on that portal. So those are like the different statuses that we ask you to look at when you track your application online. You're going to see complete and ready for you. You'll see pending. You may see incomplete. Once you see incomplete, item outstanding, you need, if you do not see it there, you need to send an email ASAP to admissions and say, hey, what is outstanding on my account? So tracking the status of your application is extremely important to the application process front. There were also a couple of questions relative to the process. Some persons are saying, I applied since and I haven't heard. What you need to do is look carefully at your status. And I say your status meaning, yes, you could have applied in November, you may have applied in January. However, if you're sending in a transcript from another tertiary level institution, it may not have been received yet in the admissions office. So therefore your application is going to remain incomplete. It also means that, yes, you have indicated to us that I am doing CAPE, whether it be CAPE Unit 1 or CAPE Unit 2, or I'm doing an associate degree or some other form of educational institution that you're pursuing, the results of which have not come in as yet, or they may very well be coming in August, in which case we cannot make a decision. It will be extremely unfair to you for us to make a decision on your academic profile when you have said to us there's something outstanding. So we therefore want to give you the best benefit of the doubt and certainly the best chance of getting to UWI, yes? So therefore, once you have indicated that something is in progress, we will await that information or that academic qualification in order to complete the evaluation of your application. If, however, as I've seen on the chat, where some persons are saying, listen, I already did CAPE Unit 1, however, I am repeating CAPE Unit 2, I would assume it is because you want to improve the grades. Two things could happen in that case. The faculty, based on your unit, depending on the faculty that you are applying to go to, or should I say, because most persons speak about their program of study. Let me not confuse you with faculties. So depending on the program that you have applied to pursue, the faculty may be able to give you an offer based on your Unit 1 results, which are currently available. However, if the program to which you have applied is highly competitive, and there was an earlier discussion from the principal about law, engineering, and medical sciences, where the competition there is really, really fierce, then the faculty would not make a determination to say to you, no, Pat, your grades are not absolutely right for us. I can't give you an offer. But Pat has said that I'm doing exams again, in which case the faculty would wait until those new results come in. So you've given the competitive edge. You have done, and we are saying that maybe those grades are not good, but you're doing something else. We are going to hold the assessment of your application until your results, which you've indicated to us, have come in. That basically is a nutshell in terms of the process. Ensure that whatever you have submitted, applied online, you submit the documents in support of what you've put online. Make sure that they're properly copied and certified to upload it to us by email. Continue to track the status of your application online via a portal. We also have instances where persons may want to make a change to what they have submitted online. Certainly you can do that. You send us an email, say, listen, I've applied for these programs, however, I now want to change to this. You send an email to the admiss email address, your request will be reviewed, it will be made, and you continue again to track the status of your application online. In a nutshell, that's where we are, but the admissions team, always happy to get an email from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown. I think that gave our viewers a really comprehensive idea of the process. And I want to switch focus now. We have quite a few questions coming in about accommodations. So I call on the manager of accommodations, Mr. Kevin Snaggs. We've of the questions together, and they range from the down payment for the hall fees. If I am not accepted, would I get a refund? There's also another question about my roommate, who is it, and when am I supposed to move into hall? And the third question in that area is about the COVID-19 safety measures in relation to social distancing, and would that still mean having a roommate? Mr. Snaggs, are you on live with us?
Yes, I am.
You heard the three questions?
Yes, I heard the questions. Thank you, Vanel. Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon to all prospective students, parents, guardians, family. Three questions that were given to me. First of all, in order to apply for accommodation at the halls of residence, the application form is available online via the campus website. The application fee of $250. This is the only thing that you have to pay at this time, the application fee. For students who are approved for the halls, the next stage will be a whole agreement, and then you will be paying your refundable caution payment of $1,000. So right now, the only thing that is due for applications is the application fee of $250 TT. In regards to roommates, we are still early in our application process. So in terms of room assignments, we have not done that as yet. We do allow students who are applying, if they have someone that they would like to room with, we ask them to submit that request to us via email. You would receive my email when uehalls@sta.uwi.edu. You'll receive that email when you apply. You can make that application and make the request for a roommate preference. We do take all requests into consideration, and once the person that you want to room with also wants to room with you, we would accommodate those requests. The final question, I think, yes, in light of the COVID-19, the halls of residence have introduced a number of strategies for dealing with COVID-19. Starting in a new semester, we would have screening methods at the entrance to all our halls. So students and visitors who come to the hall will all be screened. We have our infrared thermometers as well as a self-screening checklist, so that all students can then be assured that no one who is ill will come onto the hall. In regards to students who are on hall, we will have double rooms. However, before you apply and before you check into hall, you will be required to go through a screening session to ensure that you're all healthy. We will have continuous checks to ensure that any student who displays any forms of illness will be immediately isolated and removed from the general population. so therefore that we can remove them and protect the other students in the case of illness. But I think that's basically it.
Thank you, Kevin. And we now have a question regarding security. What is the security system like on campus, especially at night? So I would like to ask our Deputy Campus Principal, Professor Indar Ramnarayan, to address this question and perhaps talk a little bit more about security in general and how we're securing the campus. Professor Ramnarayan.
Thank you, Winel, and good evening, everyone, especially our prospects. The security of our students is really very important to us. We've had some problems in the past, but we have put systems in place in order to ensure the safety for our students. So we do have a campus security complement on campus, and this is staffed by well over 100 persons, and that is supplemented by a contracted security firm. Most areas on campus are well lit. These are the areas that people usually walk on. And during the night, as well as during the day, there are regular patrols. There's also a very, very well-developed CCTV system, which is linked to a command center, and that is manned by officers who continuously monitor what is happening on campus. In areas where students frequent, for example, the Student Activity Center, there is a permanent police presence there. Also in areas such as the library and the halls of residence. And coming close to exam time, we know that students will need to study, spend long hours at nights. So we have designated study areas, which include the library, and these areas are protected and monitored by campus security. It is really very important that students wear their ID cards. And this enables our security service to quickly distinguish a student from a non-student. So students or prospective students, it's really important that you wear those ID cards. What I would also like to state is that the behavior of students is also quite important. The cases of robberies we have had within the last few years would have been cases where people were walking out alone late at night, or sometimes very early in the morning. There was one particular case where a student went to the ATM at Republic Bank at 2 a.m. in the morning to withdraw money. And of course, I mean, that person was looking for trouble, and that person was robbed. So by simply behaving responsibly, one can avoid many of those issues. For students who are on campus late at night, who do not have transport, and who might live off campus or within I would say within 5 or 8 miles of the campus, we do have a shuttle service that we can use to transport the students safely to their homes or wherever they're staying. And there's also an escort service offered by the campus security. And this is apart from the shuttle service. So in case a student is stranded, all the person needs to do is contact security, and the numbers are publicized. And campus security will meet the student and take them to their place of residence. So these are the systems that we have put in place to ensure the safety of our students as well as our staff. Thanks, Director.
Thank you, Deputy Principal. And specifically discussing COVID-19, we have a question. After arriving in Trinidad, will I need to be quarantined at a government facility? Now, Principal, I know you as the incident commander for the campus, and in addressing the pandemic, you led a lot of these discussions. I don't know if you could possibly share the campus's response and what may obtain in this specific instance.
This is with regard to our response to COVID going forward into the semester.
Yes, and so the question is if they would have to be quarantined in a government facility if arriving in Trinidad to come next semester.
I think that once the borders are open, that they will reduce, I can't speak for the government, but it is a concern, I have to say. once the borders are lifted, then the quarantine restriction may also be lifted. If not, there's room here for them to be quarantined. I suspect that they'll be doing tests, and based on those tests, there may be a self-quarantine activity. So good question. One that I will put to the minister. When we go to phase 6 countrywide, I honestly don't think that they'll be necessarily going into quarantine, especially if it's a regional student.
Thank you, Principal. Now, campus registrar, we are getting a few questions about courses at the open campus, and I wonder if you could clarify or possibly shed some light and explanation of the sister campuses and how we operate and perhaps the different offerings.
Okay, the open campus, I would not be able to specifically advise on the specific programs that they're offering. They operate, as you know, or as some applicants may know, as a separate campus, much like Mona and Cave Hill. They actually are, like us, open for applications and open for business, and they have been having some virtual sessions actually, and the information on the programming and the myriad of options that they have can be viewed on their website, the Open Campus website. They also, like us, have a very active social media presence. They do updates constantly, news stories constantly on Instagram. And so I would encourage those who are looking for information on the Open Campus and their offerings to visit their website and visit their social media pages. And I'm hoping that you can share that with the group of persons who are asking, Mrs. Gregorio, and publish it and you know, kind of, yeah, let them know where they need to go for the information.
Certainly, certainly. Thanks, Registrar. And as you have the floor, we have a question on classes. Will any specific classes be done fully online?
As I indicated before, we are looking at our offerings, and there will be, or there may be some programs or some courses that are done fully online. We are looking at a hybrid model, and we would be in a better position to be very, very specific closer to the start of the semester. Okay. And the semester starts August 30th, as usual. The semester 1 always starts at the end of August, the last week in August.
Thank you, Registrar. Our colleagues at admissions, I want to throw a few of these out to you. So Mrs. Brown, Mr. Bradshaw, I don't know which one of you can answer, but I have a few. I've applied for the fall 2020 semester for ChemEng. I understand that acceptances are dependent on Unit 2 CAPE. What will happen for me as a prospective student? A second one, where do they notarize the document, in the front or the back of the copy? That's in relation to what Mrs. Brown was sharing. And I have applied to St. Augustine since December, only recently got notified that a document was missing. What happened to the file? And now that the missing document was sent by email, what happens next? Mrs. Brown, I'm not sure if you can take this. Are you live with us?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Were you able to hear the questions?
I did. I will start with the one which is off the top, which I can just remember. The one concerning the applicant who said she applied in December and she had to resubmit her documents. She should be advised to continue to track her application online. I would not be able to say from this end what could have been when her documents came in, and therefore when the admissions office would have updated the information. But certainly that once she has seen that the documents have been received, she can track her application online using the track application process, which is by logging on to the website www.sta.uwi.edu/TRES and using the login ID and PIN which she created, she can see there whether the documents have now been entered as being complete on her application. Yes?
Thank you.
And the other one?
I've applied for the fall 2020 semester for ChemEng. I understand that acceptances are dependent on Unit 2K. What will happen for me?
Okay, this also is, there's a two-part answer to that question. The person is saying that he or she has applied based on CAPE. If both units of CAPE have already been submitted, meaning that the persons have already finished Unit 1 and Unit 2, then certainly the faculty would be assessing the application based on that. Again, as the principal indicated, particularly for the faculties of engineering, law, and med-sci, the question of the merit system is very, very important, and therefore it's highly competitive, and therefore those are the programs that they would look for persons with very high grades, possibly grades 1 and 2 in the relevant subjects for chemical engineering. Given the new university modified matriculation requirements, which are only applicable for this period, which is for the 2021 academic year, the Faculty of Engineering, in addition to other faculties, except for Medical Sciences MBBS program, would be considering applicants based on their Unit 1 CAPE results and with evidence that they are registered for Unit 2. So if this applicant has finished Unit 1 or Unit 2, either one of the two units already, and will be writing exams, I think the CSEC exams are going to be to the end of July, then that person stands a good chance of being considered based on their Unit 1. Noting, however, the grade requirements would determine whether they get an offer for Unit 1, or if they have both Unit 1 and 2, their grade requirements would determine that. So such an applicant should again be advised to track the status or the progress of their application by logging onto the website, as I said, sta.uwi.edu/track, using your login ID and PIN, and you will see what is happening there. Yes?
Yes, and the other one was where to notarize a document, in the front or the back of the copy?
Okay, yes, the document should be notarized at the front of the document. However, not where it would disfigure in quotation marks any of the crucial and important information. So it should be notarized at the front of the document. Find a very nice clean spot. Do not stamp or let it be override any of the critical information, your name, your date of birth, and more importantly, your academic qualifications should not be disfigured in any way at all.
And I'm throwing in this last one as you have your mic open. What does decision made mean in the status column? Am I accepted?
You should see more than just decision made. If a decision is made, it will say what the decision is. So you may see decision could be pending. It could be incomplete. It could mean awaiting review. It could mean successful. So decision made. Now, it will be reflected there. However, let me just explain a bit further. Once you see decision made, generally it means that I said generally, and I would be cautious here, it would mean that the outcome has been positive. And what is the next step then is that the admissions representatives are working to upload your offer letter to you. So decision made generally signals a very positive outcome. However, the admission staff members would be awaiting to upload your offer letter to you. If it was a negative decision or there was anything else, maybe awaiting review, incomplete, you would have seen that status there. Yes?
Yes. Thank you very much, Mrs. Brown. And Principal, I want to go to you next. We had a question earlier about the South Campus at Penal DB. What's happening there and what will be happening in time September 2020?
Yes, the campus, as you know right now, Winell, is currently being used to quarantine as a quarantine facility by the government. That is the dorms. The longer-term plan for the campus is to use it as the base of a new school called the UWI Global School of Medicine, which the population will hear a lot more of in short order. In fact, it's going for final approval in the next 4 weeks. It's a new school, it's a new program that targets a mix of local and foreign students. Given, in fact, the economic situation we're in, we have looked at this type of school, similar to the offshore colleges of the islands. There'll also be other programs from Roytech, which is a subsidiary of UWI, and some programs from the Faculty of Humanities, Medicine, and Science as well, offered there. Now, when do we start up? We have, this is a project that has gone through several stop-start phases. We're just about ready. The rooms are ready. We just have to go through final approvals. And we'll know shortly whether we'll be able to start them in September. The latest I'm banking on is January 2021. Yeah, for start of programs down there. But the Global School of Medicine will probably start in January 2022 or September 2021.
Thank you, Principal.
Yeah.
Mr. Bradshaw, I wonder if I could throw the next set of questions to you. We're getting a couple about, I would say, mature students and the application process for students who are not just leaving secondary school, but perhaps have years of work experience and they want to apply as a mature student. Is it a different application process? Can you share a bit more about that?
Okay, Winell. For my students that are applying through the mature student route, they would have to indicate on the application itself that they are applying as a mature student, meaning that they are 21 years and over, having completed CSEC O levels or equivalent qualifications at the ordinary level, and also with being willing to demonstrate that they have equivalent studies or practical experience that can be utilized in the matriculation process for certain programs. Not every program would allow for students to be considered for the mature student entry route. However, they are encouraged to begin the application, and student affairs admission staff will be in contact with them thereafter to be able to indicate what else must take place in the entire process.
Okay. Thank you for that. And as we hit the 8 o'clock mark very soon, I want to have a few more questions answered before we wrap. This question is for the manager of our financial advice services, Ms. Christy Smith. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about scholarships. We had a specific question on the McConnell Dagger Scholarship, but I don't know if you could take the opportunity to share a little bit more in general with our viewers.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Gregorio, and thank you so much. And a special good evening to all our students tuned in today. Thank you so much for this question as well, because there's no timely moment than to speak about the opportunities for funding at the St. Augustine campus as we approach our new academic year within the context of this COVID situation. We are located, I am speaking of course from the Division of Student Services and Development, the Financial Advisory Services Department, and we are located in the Lloyd Baffert building. We are one of the 8 departments under the division, and our charge is really to provide financial aid, advice, as well as assistance to undergraduate students, as well to some measure postgraduate and certificate students. To speak specifically to our scholarships and bursaries, our bursaries are non-tuition based awards that are privately funded. So for example, we have scholarships and bursaries from individuals, members of our campus community, members within corporate Trinidad, organizations, institutions, clubs, as well as our regional and international partners. And our scholarships range from as low as $5,000, that's the minimum, and we have some of them that go up to sometimes $20,000. I also want to speak to the UE Development and Endowment Fund, which gives us approximately 200 awards valued at anywhere mostly $5,000. So you can say that we start off with most of our awards at $5,000, which for a student can mean a lot, as I explained in our last virtual open day. These awards can help students to, I actually saw a student asking about this on the chat, whether it can help with tuition fees, is that built into the cost of the compulsory fees? The awards can help to offset the cost of those fees, things like books, printing, transportation, meals. They help you pay your accommodation. It may help you, for those of you who have a shortfall with your tuition, it can also go towards those tuition fees. So once you apply to the University of the West Indies, you would be eligible for application, which commences on the 24th of August, runs until the 30th of September. The applications are done online, and we've now converted all our processes to an online system where you are allowed to upload all the supporting documents into the online application portal. So until we can meet face-to-face again, we are observing the new normal and taking the good things forward with us so that students can actually apply online. And to apply, you can go to our webpage at sta.uwi.edu/scholarships. Take a moment to please peruse our page. We will give you all the guidelines necessary. We have a scholarships and bursaries booklet there containing all the offers on all the scholarships and bursaries on offer. And let me just speak to that very briefly. Like I said before, it's privately sponsored. So we had a question earlier from Aliyah, who was asking, what are the qualifications, what are the criteria? And I just want to say that because they're privately sponsored, in terms of reference, the eligibility criteria may vary from donor to donor. I also want to say that there are awards that are open to all faculties on the campus, and these are undergraduate awards. So please take a moment to go through our applications. I would like to pin this, just a very brief note to say that our applications for continuing students are still ongoing, and it ends on the 30th of June. For new students, the applications will begin on the 24th of August. Feel free to email us at ugbursries@sta.uwi.edu. Any information you may require on scholarships and bursaries, one of our team members will be more than happy to assist you. I hope this provides you with the information you require. And like I said, email us and let's keep in touch so we can provide you with the information you require. Thank you so much. Welcome to UE in advance.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Christy. And I know we're getting some questions in the chat earlier about costs on programs. I just want to remind that these are available in our fee booklets, and you can go online, sta.ue.edu/online forms, and you will see that there. And as we try to wind down, I ask for any final questions that you may have to send forward. You can send it now before we wrap up. Mr. Bradshaw, I know as we look to close, any final comments you'd like to share with our viewers in terms of the process?
I just want them to remember and be reminded that the application process is ongoing. We really look forward to receiving each and every application. Noticing also too the majority of questions with respect to applications received. Please remember that we're working remotely, and we have been, there's some synergy that we would have had if we were working in one finite space may have been broken because of the fact that we are now working remotely. It doesn't mean to say that we cannot complete our processes, but it has created some time lags. So we do appreciate that you understand this and give us a continued patience. I'd like to reiterate again, we will look forward as well to emails that allow you to be able to request the opportunity to have Skype interactions with us, especially myself and others. We'd love to be able to do that as often as we could to ensure that all these our applicants will be able to receive all the information that is necessary in a comfortable face-to-face environment, albeit utilizing technology. Thanks a lot, and looking forward to continuing all our interactions as we continue to progress through the circumstances that have been presented us by COVID-19, which we will overcome.
Thank you for that note of positivity. And I also take the opportunity to remind that our deadline date for application is July 10th, 2020. So we have about a couple of days, to apply still, and we urge you to use the information received at this session to do so. We do have a question on scholarship or awards to assist persons with disabilities. And I asked Dr. Huggins from our Division of Student Services to address that question. Dr. Huggins, are you on the?
Yes, I am. Yes, so good evening all. Yes, I heard it. In fact, I was just answering it. And I was just saying to the student that students with disabilities are also eligible to apply for all the scholarships that were advertised by Ms. Smith just a little while ago. So feel free, everyone has the equal opportunity to apply for those scholarships.
As your mic is open, do you want to take the opportunity just to talk a little bit about the services that you offer?
Sure. I would like to inform each one that the university works very hard towards creating a campus without barriers. So students with disabilities and medical conditions are welcome to apply. There's no discrimination. Our department, the Student Life and Development Department, provides a number of services to ensure that your stay is a positive one. The main thing you would need to get would be a medical from your practitioner, which will confirm your condition and which will make recommendations for the relevant accommodations that you would need, because we assist you in terms of getting accommodations within your classroom, as well as for exams, transport around the campus, and any other need that you may have. You come into our department, we do one-on-one with you, and we liaise with your lecturers, with your faculty, to ensure that your needs are met. So I just want to encourage you, there's no discrimination. Feel free to apply to UWI. You will be taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Huggins. And I have a question about the process of switching majors for undergraduate application. Mrs. Brown?
Yes, thank you very much, Renelle. The process to change information on your application, our prospects are required to submit via email the request indicating the program choices which they would have originally applied for online, and indicating now that the changes they now wish to make. So basically they would send us an email to the ugApply@sta.uwi.edu or to admis@sta.uwi.edu, indicating that I've applied for X program, my choices are. However, I would now like to change those choices to whatever they are, and in the order. You send that in to him. We will make the adjustments on your application account, and you continue to track the status or progress of your application by logging on to your website. Yes?
Thank you for that clarity. Thank you for that clarity. And as we try to wrap, I turn it over to the campus principal, Professor Brian Copeland, to say a few closing comments. Principal?
Okay, thank you, Winner, once again. I just wanted to say thank you to all the panelists who fielded the questions that were presented by our virtual audience today. I'd like to thank all those who are interested in joining UWI for taking part in this event. It is a trying time. It's one that we will certainly overcome. I think if you look at the newspapers, you'll see that UWI has been working very closely. We across all the campuses have been working very closely with the various ministries of health to enjoin the battle against COVID. It shows our mettle, it shows our capability. We need people like you with your intellect, your capability to join us in that fight, not just in overcoming COVID, but in building that new society. For that, I'd like to wish you a good night. Join us. Let us build a new society, a new future. All for you.
Thank you, Principal. And as we close, I want to remind about an exit survey which will pop up as you close off your Zoom. And for those of us on Facebook, you will see a link shared as well to give us feedback on this session. Thank you once again for being with us this evening. It has been a pleasure to host you. Look out for an email from us. We will share a copy of the recording and you will feel free to share it with others. All of us at the St. Augustine campus look forward very, very much to welcoming you to our campus. We invite you to #BUE. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.